Good morning. It is Friday, August the 13th. I'm Shane Seeley, and this is the CBC Morning Report. In a few hours' time, Barbados will receive its first shipment of the Pfizer vaccine from the United States government. The acting Prime Minister, Santia Bradshaw, will head a group of dignitaries and health officials who will receive the shipment at the Granny Adams International Airport at 10:05 this morning. The shipment contains just over 70,000 doses, which should cover about 35,000 plus Barbadians. According to sources, local health officials have secured 2 shipments. But getting more of the Pfizer vaccine brand of the vaccine, well, that may prove to be a bit more difficult and more costly in the future. We break down this latest news with Dr. Hilary Moore, emergency room physician and Morning Report contributor. Good morning, Dr. Moore. Good to have you back on the Morning Report.
Good morning. It's great being here.
Okay, so tell us how this Pfizer vaccine stacks up against its competition, and there's also some new research data out on Pfizer.
Okay, so remember initially Pfizer was almost 100% effective against death, as well as being 96 to 98% effective against getting severe infection. But remember, we also have to remember there are many different variants now. So you're going to find that its efficacy, along with all the other vaccines, is going to be less because of the various variants, especially Delta. But they're actually still finding it has a good efficacy against Delta presently. However, what some studies are showing is that the efficacy of the Pfizer vaccine decreases by 6% every 2 months after you've received your second dose. So it goes down to 84% by the 6-month timeline. This is concerning to some extent, but is it something that doesn't happen generally with vaccines? Not really. So we're going to have to see with time exactly how does that translate to us and our fight against the actual COVID epidemic right now. But you have to keep in mind that, and most vaccines with time, their efficacy is actually going to decrease. But I'm very happy that we're actually getting Pfizer. I mean, as in having other options is a good thing. Remember, some people that didn't want the AstraZeneca say they wanted the Pfizer. So you're going to find some of those people will come out. However, I don't think that we fully addressed the vaccine hesitancy across the board. Remember, there's lots of vaccine hesitancy for many different reasons. And I don't think that we've effectively addressed that. So having this vaccine coming in is good, but we also need to decide how and who we're going to use it on. Now,
okay. There's another report out, Dr. Moore, on the Pfizer vaccine, and it's relating to the price. Talk a bit about that.
Right. So that is a big issue. The price of the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines are going to be increased. That is a little disconcerting, especially seeing the fact that the world itself needs vaccines. So when you start increasing prices, you're going to find that people aren't going to be able to afford it. Now, because of the increased prices that's going to occur with the Pfizer vaccine, and I remember I speak for myself, I'm a little worried about us procuring many more doses in the long run. Pfizer right now is the only vaccine that is recommended in the 12 to 17 age group. That means that if we want to get this herd immunity of 80%, now remember, it's not 80% of the adult population, it's 80% of your population. Some studies are saying it can go down to like 70, 60. I think a safe number would be like around 80. That would be great. But that has to also include some of our young people. If we do not also start targeting, educating our 12 to 17 age group, and remember that is not just their children, we have to inform, give information to the parents, and actually start vaccinating that age group with the set that we actually have coming in now. We can't. I don't know if we can guarantee that we're going to get another set, especially in light of the fact that the prices are going to be going up. And so many countries are struggling that they're going to want to procure it. And we honestly, as a third world country, can't afford escalating prices of vaccines. That is one of the unfortunate things. So I think that we should also not only be targeting adults. I think from now we should be starting to target the 12 to 17 age group. I think we should be educating people as to the benefits of the vaccines, why it is important that we even involve our 12 to 17 age group. Because let's be fair, our 12 to 17 and our young adults are our high risk population. High
Right.
risk because they're the ones that, this is their social development time. They're the ones that are going to want to do the parties, the limes, all the different things. They're the ones that are more than likely, I mean, don't get me wrong, the adults are doing it too, but they're the ones that more than likely might breach some of the protocols because that's part of youth. You think that you are invincible. So I think we really should be targeting these age groups a
Yes.
lot more, and I think it should be offered to them also from the onset. But that's just my view on that
Dr.
matter.
Dr. Moore, do you think that there will be an uptick in people wanting to take the vaccine now that the Pfizer brand is available? There was a slowdown in the national vaccination campaign, and it coincided with the acquisition of the Chinese-made Sinopharm vaccine. What do you think will happen now?
I think that yes, there was a slowdown with the Sinopharm, but there was also a slowdown coming down to the end of even the AstraZeneca too, because then we started to deal with a lot of the older people who wanted the vaccine were already vaccinated. You had some of the younger people that they're like, it's not going to do me anything. I'm not really bothered. And then so it was slowing down from them, but it really was very slow with the Sinopharm vaccine. I do think we are going to get some people that are going to prefer the Pfizer vaccine over the Sinopharm or even the AstraZeneca. But I do not think that number of people is going to be that's as significant as we will hope it would be. I still think we're going to have a challenge with the vaccination program as it goes forward
Mm.
until we really start targeting the populations that are really hesitant. As I said already, the younger people, you know, and I find that, they read a lot of information. You can find information everywhere. You can find good things, bad things. They go on the internet, Google, Facebook. I think there need to be a lot more one-on-one or like a source where they can come and ask their questions directly and actually get honest answers to really start getting that turnaround and getting this younger generation into getting the vaccine because so many of them are saying it doesn't bother me.
Yes.
I'm not even bothered with the vaccine. So I think that we're going to have an increase in the very beginning, but I don't think it's going to be very long lasting. And
Speaking
that's
about the
my
place
fear.
to get those answers, Dr. Moore, the recent town hall meetings, well, there've been two of them so far. And at the latest one, the chief medical officer did mention that they're investigating possible links to deaths and the vaccine here in Barbados. Should people be worried hearing that news and that possibility?
Okay, so should there be concerned? There's always concerns for everything, but I think you need to take everything into context. Um, Again, let's go back to the same thing about, the vaccine, the AstraZeneca causing clots, 4 per 200,000. When the birth control pill causes clots in one in every 4,000, right? So you have to think about things in relatively. There's a risk with everything, even if you go for certain diets, there's a risk even of poor health and even death. All right, because everybody is, and I'm not throwing any diet under the bus, but everybody's into keto right now. Keto is the best thing around. But do you realize that keto has a high level of saturated fats in it? There's also then it's going to increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, which is your heart attacks and your strokes, right? So I think you need to weigh the pros and cons of everything. And also we need to get more information about what these deaths were. So
Mm.
I would say, yes, there's some element of concern. I'm not saying that's wrong, but wait till you get all the facts. Because is it that it was an incidental? There are things, you can't just say that, I got my vaccine, I went across the road, I got hit by a bus, it was the vaccine. That is how some of the, I'm sorry, conspiracy theorists are showing a lot of different things. So let's wait till we get some facts. Don't
Okay.
go by jumping on the bandwagon and saying, oh, this is an issue, we are not taking it. No, let's wait till we get some more facts before we get, as I said, there is some element of concern, which is understandable. But before you start jumping on it, oh, I'm not taking the vaccine, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that,
Right.
let's get the facts. I find that we are it's interesting how we jump so quickly on negatives, but we're really slow on the uptake of positives. So let us wait till we get more information about that first before we even have a full discussion, you know?
Okay.
And I would tell people, don't worry so much about it until you get more information. You know, it could have been that they had so many other comorbid conditions and stuff like that, and it's not necessarily the vaccine directly that was the issue. So I would hold on that for now.
Dr. Moore, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but of course, we will have you back to talk about the Pfizer vaccine and other COVID-19 related issues right here on the Morning Report. You stay safe until next time.
You stay safe too.
Thank you so much. We'll take a break here and come back with some other COVID-19 updates. And 61st doses of COVID-19 vaccine. 82,733 people have received a second doses and are fully vaccinated. This represents 30.5% of Barbados' population. U.S. health officials are closely watching another potential COVID super spreader. This time it's the Iowa State Fair, which has been classified as a mass gathering event with no directives to wear a mask.
Well, mostly officials will tell you that the Delta variant that we're seeing here in Iowa just really hit hard starting about 2 weeks ago. So officials here basically saying they feel comfortable holding this rally, holding this Iowa State Fair because it brings in so much money to the local economy, tens of millions of dollars. And they feel that while there is beginnings of a surge in coronavirus cases here, they just felt that they could handle this safely. They think that because much of the events are held outdoors, they think it'll make it safer, although there are many events indoors as well. And the governor has said no masks are required anywhere in the state. So bottom line is officials feel that they canceled last year, but they didn't feel they needed to cancel this year. This is the opening day of the fair, 11-day event. Thousands of people are here, as you can maybe see behind me. This has been going on for 167 years, and this is really the single biggest event in the entire state of Iowa. But the bottom line is just in the last week, the number of positive coronavirus cases here in the state has increased by 50%. Now, just in the last week, over 600 people tested positive for coronavirus. Many people here we are talking to are saying they feel comfortable, and they say they feel safe.
And people that are attending the fair today, what are they telling you in terms of their concerns about the virus?
Yeah, we've spoken to many people here, and some said, hey, they thought about it a little bit longer because of what's going on with the coronavirus. They said, we talked to one couple, elderly couple, that said, we were going to bring our grandkids, but we decided not to, just to be a little safer. Some people are wearing masks, some people aren't. But a lot of people are telling us it's pretty much their personal decision on how they think they should handle it. A lot of people are saying that they feel because they're vaccinated that they feel safer because of that. In the state of Iowa, about 47% of people are fully vaccinated, so a little bit below half. That's a little below the national average. But a lot of people obviously just feel that it was because it was canceled last year. They feel the urge to get out and be here this year and simply don't feel that the dangers are high enough to where it would keep them away. I would say out of the people here, I would say about 10 to 20% are wearing masks voluntarily. The rest simply aren't. A lot of outdoor space here, obviously, so it's a little safer, but there are also a lot of indoor spaces as well, where it's a lot more dangerous. I will say one of the main health officials from Polk County, which is the home of Des Moines, was asked, would you go to the Iowa State Fair? She said, absolutely not.
Let's join Pearson now to find out what's happening on the Friday edition of Morning Barbados. Pearson, it's over to you.
Coming up this morning, I meet a young man who goes by the name of Bajanism. He's into flipping, and as a fire entertainer, we'll meet him and find out why he's chosen a particular path to travel. We'll also this morning meet a young lady who is empowering other young ladies through her business, Posh. We'll get to hear the story behind that as well. And recently, you may have seen the culinary skills of a Barbadian featured on Fox and Friends. He'll join us right here on Morning Barbados. It's back to you, Sheen.
Thank you, Pearson. And after the break, we will talk about the cost of living here in Barbados and what's driving it up. Barriers to trade are being blamed for the increases in the cost of living that many Barbadians now face. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade has been speaking to the Morning Report about some of the challenges which now see people here spending more for less. According to Senator Dr. Jerome Walcott, one of the main contributors is the sharp increase in shipping costs. He's, however, optimistic the issues will be addressed as Barbados sits down at the virtual roundtable with developed nations during the upcoming UNCTAD 15, the United Nations Conference for Trade and Development. Minister Walcott is of the view that developed nations have brushed aside the tenets of the United Nations and UNCTAD, bowing instead to the pressure and demands of the COVID-19 pandemic.
You had a situation with countries in the developed world were being, devastated by COVID. The developing countries were being devastated. And it seems almost like it was akin to home drums beating first, that they felt that they had to secure PPEs and resources for their populations. And I don't think that the whole concept of the United Nations and the UNCTAD to some extent, it speaks about multilateralism and assisting each other where you can. And I think that really put it under the test. And even now we've heard of, I think you're well aware, the shipping costs have gone up, the cost of
big
grain.
time.
I mean, it is affecting us in this way. And again, this ties into the whole issue of the COVID pandemic and how it affects global trade and of course, global health. So it has affected the whole issues of trade, but in our situation, primarily in having access to certain things and of course, increasing our cost of living.
Meanwhile, we hear that the possible increase in the cost of poultry and other consumer products could have an impact on the island's bread and butter sector, tourism. That's unless creative solutions are found for this problem. The assessment is coming from the chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Jeffrey Roach, during a wide-ranging media conference held yesterday. The notion that poultry prices could rise stems from an increase in the cost of feed, a key component in the poultry industry. Mr. Roach notes the basic inputs to the sector's operations like food and shipping costs are all seeing continued increases in prices.
We already know that Barbados is viewed as a high-price destination. And while those costs are likely to be impacting, well, some of those costs at least, impacting multiple destinations in the same way, we're still seeking to compete for the same tourist dollar. And every additional layer of cost to the industry makes us a little less competitive. So we need to have a conversation on how we can creatively address some of those issues to manage the cost. Now, yeah, there will likely be cost increases, but we have to minimize the impact of those on the industry.
And while he agrees that price competitiveness is an important issue, the BHTA CEO, Senator Rudy Grant, also thinks tourism players have to ensure they enhance the value of their tourism product.
I'm not sure, given what has been happening globally, if you will have a situation where there will be no increases. But at the same time, as we look to contain any increases in prices, I also think that we should be giving some attention to how we can enhance our value for money proposition, so as to ensure that while a person, yes, may be spending a little bit more, what they're getting in terms of the value of their trip and the experiences that they get, that those are exceptional.
Over in Afghanistan now, the third largest city there, Herat, has fallen to the Taliban, becoming the 11th provincial capital to be captured by the armed group in recent days. The capture of Herat is a major scalp for the Taliban and a huge loss for government forces as the armed group continues its sweeping military advance across Afghanistan amidst pullouts of foreign troops after 20 years of war.
Well, we've talked to about half a dozen residents in Herat to try to confirm this. They're all saying the same thing. They say there are Taliban all over the streets, that they are in all the government facilities, that they don't see any government security forces, and that Herat has fallen to the Taliban. It is the third biggest city in Afghanistan. It is a major scalp for the armed group to get. It is the biggest city in the west, and it is a huge loss for the government to lose control of this city. Local journalists saying to us that beyond just seeing Taliban in the street, all the gunfire they can hear, they say, is simply celebratory gunfire, that they can't see any clashes ongoing. They say the Taliban broke into the prison and freed all the prisoners. One man saying to us, I know this because some of my own relatives were in the prison and they are now in my house. There's videos circulating online showing the Taliban right in the heart of the city, letting prisoners out, and they seem to be very in control, and local residents saying to us that there really wasn't much of a fight, that it appeared that security forces just fled the city. the person who was kind of leading the resistance was a man named Ismail Khan. He was the former Herat governor. He had formed a local uprising movement that had been supported by the government, had been supported with arms and money, and he had been quite successful in the last month at keeping the Taliban out of the city, but we have reports now that he has fled Herat and that it is indeed in the hands of the Taliban. The Taliban haven't stopped there. In the last hour, they have claimed another province, that is Badghis, also in the west. We have talked to local journalists there that say, yes, actually, the Taliban are in control of the police and the intelligence compounds in the provincial capital, that's Kalinoor, but they say that heavy clashes are ongoing at the governor's compound, so it doesn't appear to be fully in Taliban control there. Moving to the south, Kandahar, the second biggest city in Afghanistan. The Taliban have made inroads in that city. Also today, all flights are cancelled. Communications are incredibly poor, trying to figure out what is going on in that city. Videos have leaked showing them in the heart of the city, of security forces. There's convoys rushing through the city. I talked to one resident who said his family is in the city and terrified and hearing heavy gunfire. So it appears that security forces are putting up somewhat of a resistance in Kandahar city, but the Taliban certainly making huge gains there today. Taliban also claiming in Lashkargah that they have broken the prison and let out all their prisoners, although we haven't been able to confirm that. So Taliban on a huge offensive this evening and claiming scalps in the west, potentially in the east, and pushing incredibly hard in the south.
In sports, after a good bowling performance, the Windies were stuttering on 2 for 2 at the close of day one of the first test at Sabina Park in Jamaica against Pakistan last evening. That's in reply to the visitors' first innings score of 217. Gone are Kieran Powell and Nkrumah Bonner to the bowling of Mohammad Abbas, both for ducks. The Windies won the toss and sent the visitors in. A Barbadian woman has created history, becoming the first female to be appointed manager of a franchise in the Caribbean Premier League. Roxanne Fort is the new manager of the Barbados Royals as a team and the new co-owners from the Indian Premier League prepare for CPL 2021 in St. Kitts. Mark Seal has more.
Ms. Fort has worked with the Barbados franchise before. As recent as last season in Trinidad and Tobago, she was already performing some of the managerial duties.
Last year I went to CPL as the owner's liaison, which is I was the person who dealt with the management of the team on the ground in Trinidad. And they thought that they should elevate me to the role of manager based on their confidence in me and what they thought that I was capable of doing at the time. And here I am.
A woman managing a men's sports team isn't new for Ms. Fort either, having done it at the national.
Things that I did before as event management on the ground, I'm still doing. Liaising with sponsors, the new management, the new owners, the Rajasthan Royals group, dealing with sponsors, dealing with the banners, dealing with the travel, everything that I did just magnified a little bit more. Now managing personalities of players are obviously not something that I'm new to. But yeah, it's a little different because, cricket, I tell people all the time, volleyball is my passion, as you would know.
And we wish Ms. Fort and the Barbados Royals all the best in the upcoming CPL. Time now for a look at the weather. It's 26.7 degrees on the outside, almost 27 and partly cloudy. It's feeling a little warmer. 29 degrees Celsius is the apparent temperature. The relative humidity, though, is up to 90%. The barometric pressure is down to 1012.4 millibars, and those winds have dropped off, coming out of the east at 20 kilometers per hour. We'll see a low tide at 8 minutes to 1 in the afternoon. The high tide will be later on tonight at 7:21. Those seas are smooth to moderate in open water. Swells are topping off at the 1.5 meter mark, but they are expected to increase. It will be mostly cloudy to overcast with occasional brief scattered light to moderate showers in Barbados today and tonight. And over the Lesser Antilles, it will be partly cloudy to cloudy with brief light scattered showers. Tonight, much of the same, partly cloudy to cloudy at times with light to moderate scattered showers. And that's it for this edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Shane Seeley. Have a good weekend. Up next, Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning.
And a very good morning to you, everyone, everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, this Friday, the 13th of August, 2021. This is Morning Barbados. I am Pearson Bowen, welcoming those of you watching us on our website, cbc.bb, on our Facebook streams at CBC Barbados, Morning Barbados, and on our YouTube channel at CBC Barbados. As always, thank you for your company. We're at the end of the week, we are now. And so starting this weekend, the NCF will be starting a series of arts and craft pop-ins. We get to hear a little bit more about that in just a little while. And also today, we'll hear more about that historic signing of a memorandum of understanding between Barbados, Suriname, and Guyana. Let's get started this morning, though, by introducing you now to a man who has... We'll get to him in just a little while. Thank you for telling me now. But certainly, you know, this morning too, we'll be hearing a bit more too about what CBC is doing this weekend as we begin the conclusion of our Soca Showdown. This evening, we'll be hearing about the ultimate winners of our Soca Star and Kaiso Star competitions. And before we get going as well, let me remind you that if you're looking for great bargains, then Kensington Mall is the place to be tomorrow, Saturday. It's Runner's Grand Outdoor Flea Market at Kensington Mall. It starts at 8 in the morning till 5:30 in the afternoon. And they will have on sale at that outdoor flea market some bags, shoes, clothing, plants, and a whole lot more. But of course, you need to reserve your stall space if you need to set up there at the Kensington Mall tomorrow for the outdoor flea market. You need to reserve it by calling Owen on 850-8661. 850-8661, and remember, all COVID-19 protocols will be in place. Promise you, before the show is done today, you'll have something to smile about. There's something I'm not going to tell you anymore. You just have to keep watching as we tell you a whole lot more about what's coming up. So, where do we start? So let me just remind you also that yesterday we had the Gimme Peace Pandemic. It's a competition that concluded yesterday with the Division of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment. If you watched it here on CBC TV8 and on our social media platforms, you saw it was quite a riveting competition as well. Best of luck to all of those who competed, but you know, we know the winners today. And if we can, let's just tell all of you about who those winners are. From Gimme the Peace on the Pandemic, the ultimate winner was Jody Williams, otherwise known as Willie X Shabar. He won, and following in second place was Stacey Atherley, and coming in third was Denisha Davis. Congratulations to each of you. Also want to remind you, as you met yesterday, Nashton Brown, one of those young footballers who's heading off to study overseas. He, along with Lamar Catlin and Jalen Gills, are traveling out of the island this weekend. But they're still looking for some funds to assist them in their study. And so if you can, please contact Nashton Brown at nashton1999@gmail.com, nashton1999@gmail.com, and lend your financial support. They're looking for that as there's still some costs to be met. And I beg your pardon? Okay, so if we can take a look at some of what happened yesterday, Pandy Mike, give me peace, Pandy Mike, take a look at this and we're back with more.
6 contestants brought messages of peace to the mic, lending their voices to the movement against all forms of violence in Barbados.
We need positivity because that's what we like. We need contest to keep them right. Love increase. This is the Nisha and I'm promoting peace.
The Gimme Peace Pandy Mike anti-violence chanting competition is one of the deliverables of the National Anti-Violence Campaign organized by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment. Director of the Division of Youth Affairs, Cleviston Hunt, says the dynamic initiative welcomes young people's views on the critical societal challenges of violence.
Give Me Peace on the Mic is another anti-violence project. The strategy is to use a chanting competition to encourage youth and the wider community to live peaceful lives and to end the violence now. As you are aware, music is a powerful medium, and videos, along with lyrics and visual content, can reinforce the message to end the violence now.
Brother, it's time to unite. I can chant this message with my mic.
After a number of captivating musical performances, it was up to the judges and viewers at home to vote for their favorite artist. Jody Williams walked away with the top prize of a music video, $500 and a Samsung S21 smartphone for the performance of his original song, Birds and Kites, while Stacey Adderley and Denisha Davis took home second and third place prizes, respectively. Aaliyah Briggs, CBC News.
Thanks, Aaliyah. It's 23 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. Let's turn our attention to the culmination of our Soca Showdown. CBC's marketing specialist, Nicole Collins, joins me now to tell us about what's coming up tonight and this weekend as well. Good morning to you, Nicole.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I do well today. How do you do?
I'm doing great as well.
All right. We've
and
had weeks of competition in the Ultimate Soca Showdown, yes. And now we're down to the big finale, the announcements tonight. So let's walk us through a little bit about the competition so that we get ready for tonight's announcements.
Okay, so we would have started on June 26th, the Ultimate Soca Showdown, 2 competitions, not just one. So we were featuring the Kaiso artists in the Kaiso Champion competition that would have had 2 preliminaries, and we would have asked persons initially to vote, to vote in who they thought could be their Kaiso champion. And coming out of those votes, we would have taken the top 24. The same thing was done for the Soca Star. That's the groovy music, that's the sweet music, the bashment, that type, the party music. The same thing was done. Top 24 were selected, separated into 2, 12 each in each preliminary. Preliminary number 1, preliminary number 2 for each competition. And coming out of each preliminary, we then took the top 6, which then led us to where we are now. We ended up with 12 per competition.
Yes.
And out of those 12, we asked our audiences to vote. And they've been voting all along to make sure that they get in their ultimate Soca Kaiso champion or their Soca Star. We've used radio, we've used television, we've used media to keep the spirit of Crop Over alive, because as you know, this is a second year without Crop Over as we know it. And that was CBC's aim, was to keep the spirit of Crop Over alive, keep the artist top of mind. And this promotion in itself allowed us, the audience and Barbados and persons abroad, to remember the music that has been produced over the years by our many artists across Barbados.
Indeed.
So now,
having all the votes and having tabulated, we are going to be making that big announcement tonight on festival stage. What is in it for these artists?
Oh, I was keeping that one. I didn't say that one as yet. So each winner, a Kaiso champion, a Soca Star, each person will go with $10,000 cash, person. $10,000. And bragging rights, of course, for being the first Kaiso champion and the first Soca Star. obviously put on by the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation in association with our many partners, our many sponsors whom we could not have done it without.
Indeed. So this evening from 9:02, 9:03 thereabouts, festival stage will start. Of course, we'll give you a replay of who and what. And then later on in the show, towards the end of the show, I suspect, is where we'll make the announcement. And we really want to be able to celebrate all of those. And now, the names elude me, but all of you know exactly who you are, who made it into the finals. And we've asked all of you Barbadians to support. And so far, all of your texts have been in. What do you consider to have been the response? How would you characterize the response to the texting into the final?
I would say that the texting was the response was phenomenal. We had a really good response to the promotion itself overall. And we were surprised that they really took to text. They love their soca, they love their music, they love their artists, and they came out and they supported their artists. As I said, we fueled it on radio, and I'll let a little tale out of school. I can still remember coming into 94.7 one morning and seeing you playing the music and dancing. And
yeah, talk about business.
So it just goes. Yeah, but you're friends, and you're my friend, so I'm going to talk. But I did say I would bring a tale out of school.
Yes.
So it just goes to show, and I remember that morning telling you, I remember this song, and I love this song. I haven't heard this song for a while. And as you know, 94.7 FM, the best 24/7, all of your local music, and we allowed that music to take over the airwaves and bring back those memories, let persons hear what our artists, as I said before, have been working on, what they've worked on over the years, so their contribution to the art form. So as we said, tonight now on festival stage, the votes are in, envelopes have already been sealed, and Cassandra and Admiral will have a really grand time. We know how they will do it. We'll continue tonight to feature some of the music of each 12, and then at the end of that featuring, the envelopes will be pulled out and the winners will be revealed. So we're encouraging everyone. Tune into CBC TV 8 tonight. If you can't watch on TV 8, sign into CBC Barbados on Facebook and watch, because this is going to be a real showdown.
I can't wait. You have me already sitting on the edge of my seat. Then on Saturday night, we're having another stay-at-home party.
Yes. So the stand-home party, it's been weeks now we've been doing this. We're now into season 3, and Barbadians have really enjoyed the stand-home party. I had one last weekend at 9 o'clock. Someone called me. What happened to the stand-home party tonight? So personally, it's been well accepted, well received, both at home and abroad. And this weekend promises to be just as good. We're having a summer excursion island drive. So the themes over the weeks have been very creative. Our production teams have gotten really creative. They had a safari in studio, they had a moat in studio, and the ad this time around has a bus, because an excursion, you're talking about a bus. It requires a bus. So I am looking forward to what the production will cover this summer excursion. We know excursions, Barbadians love excursions. We love to have a really good time, go out to places like Farley Hill, the East Coast, King George, Tree Houses, those places. So of course our DJs will give you music. We Black Rose Supreme, Level Vibes, and making their debut on the Stand-Home Party, Barry and Thorny. And personally, I must say that the Stand-Home Party has given the opportunity to many DJs for Barbados faces to the names of these DJs. And we're glad that we could have done that for the public. We're glad that we could have given the DJs an opportunity to work during a really tough time, because lots of persons have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And we've kept persons employed, gainfully employed. We've entertained persons, keeping persons, their minds and so forth, entertained. And as I think the Zoom is, as they say, active every Saturday night. So we know that persons both here and abroad are thoroughly enjoying themselves with the stand-home party. So we encourage persons to tune in tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, an hour later, 10 o'clock. So it's 10 until 1. And a surprise, we will be making the presentation of the checks for the winners of the Thai Soca Champion and the Soca Star in the stand-home party. and you never know. You make the performances.
You just never know. But for years, CBC has always been at the center of entertainment and the culture of Barbados. And this is no doubt another part of our role that we play, and we accept our role wholeheartedly. And so we want to encourage people to tune into CBC TV at all our social media platforms as well, and be a part of this exciting weekend, starting tonight with Festival Stage, when the announcement of the winners of the Ultimate Soca Showdown and in the Soca Star and Kaiso Champion competition. Then tomorrow evening, join us for that excursion. And an excursion takes us across parish by parish because it's an island-wide thing. So I would like all of you in St. Lucie to get into the Zoom. Let me see you. If you're in Christchurch, St. Philip, anywhere, any parish, get into the Zoom, represent your parish. It's an island-wide excursion. And we're looking forward to all of your participation as well. All of this is all part of the excitement of the CBC. Thank you so much, Nicole, for joining us this morning. And
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And whetting our appetite for what's exciting this weekend here at the CBC. Thank you. Morning Barbados continues right after this.
Festival Stage Showdown, this Friday from 9:03 p.m. We have the music of your finalists, 12 Soca Stars and 12 Kaiso Champions. We're taking you to a Soca party and a Kaiso tent all at once. You get the music, then the big announcement. Find out who wins $10,000 in cash, your Kaiso Champion, and your Soca Star. Your votes are in, so join us this Friday for the final Festival Stage Showdown, 9:03 p.m. on CBC TV8.
This Saturday night is the Start Home Party Summer Excursion and Island Drive from 10 p.m. until 1 a.m. live on CBC TV8, YouTube, and Facebook. The Zoom is active with prizes all night long, featuring Black Rose Supreme, Level Vibes, and for the first time ever, Barry and Tony with your host, DJ Ras. The Start Home Party is sponsored by
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
10 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock here on Morning Barbados. This young man has been flipping all over the place, and he's even flipped, I'd call it, in Canada. But he's here now to talk with us this morning. Raheem Murray is his name. He goes by the stage name Bajanism. Good morning to you, Raheem.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How do you do?
I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're blessed and I'm glad you're happy to be here. Now, Bajanism. Why do you call yourself Bajanism and what do you do?
Bajanism came from the word Bajan, and I knew or met another entertainer whose name was Liguanism, and I kind of just went along with the whole Bajanism idea from that.
So you do some
And
flipping, you're also a fire entertainer, and why those have you chosen to be the things that you love to do? Flipping and entertaining by fire.
um, they all started back in school. Uh, I remember performing for a Christmas concert, and the let's say the feedback from that really pushed me to, you know, look further into entertainment. And I started off doing Shaggy Bear performances for Sandy Gold Cup and Turtle Beach Hotel, Sandy Hotel, and um, I wanted to push the limits further, raise the standard for entertainment, and I always tend to one up myself. So I had always had an interest in fire entertainment, and I did research. I reached out to other fire entertainers, and ended up reaching out to Cassius Clay, and he, was a huge help to my success in my career. He gave me a lot of pointers on the business and the industry. So, yeah, pretty
So
much it.
tell me about your experience in Canada because shortly after school you moved to Canada and then you found yourself immersed in a whole cultural explosion. So talk about that with me a little bit about Canada and how Canada has opened you up to entertainment.
Whew, it was a culture shock. It was a huge, huge culture shock. I ended up running into a lot of talented influencers, a lot of talented artists, and their drive to themselves really influenced me to dedicate a lot of time to training. And I would train every day, every chance I got, and yeah, I met some really interesting characters. I met guys from Certain Soul, met guys from the stunt cast of Marvel and DC movies, and hearing their experiences really pushed me to want to do better, and it was a life-changing experience for me.
Because everywhere you turned, somebody was either juggling, they were doing all sorts of creative things and just
Yeah,
using
they
their
were either
skill
juggling.
and being able
Yeah.
to do so. But then you also compared what you were paid there with what you were paid here, and you made a decision. Talk to us about that.
Good question. Honestly, I feel like in terms of the business standard for entertainment here, it's a very tough situation. People don't usually see it as important unless you are up there. And um, I had a lot of run-ins, I had a lot of problems, but I prevailed.
You persevere still. So now you consider
Yeah.
yourself to be a flipper of sorts. So everybody sees you
Um,
everywhere doing some amazing things, flipping all over the place, and with your fire entertainment as well. And you've chosen this as your career. You know, are you
yes,
satisfied that this is sufficient to support you going forward?
I am. I'm very confident actually because, like I said, like I said before, we are a country based on tourism, and we will always there will always be a need to entertain people. There will always be a need for people to see a part of our culture, and who better than to do it than me, you know?
Yes. A lot of what you do, though, one can consider to be quite dangerous. You know, flipping, you fall, you
Yeah.
hurt, break a bone. Doing fire entertainment alone in itself has its own range of dangers as well. How do you deal with that?
How do I deal with that? Good question again. I actually train. It's a lot of training. It's a lot of focus. When I reach that flow state, I get into a different mindset, different frame of mind, and yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what's the worst that has happened to you as a consequence of doing the things you do?
What's the worst that had happened? Let's see. I haven't had any really bad accidents as yet because I am always careful. But let's say the worst that probably has ever happened was getting my leg hurt before a fire performance, and I was panicking. But luckily, I reached out to one of my friends and was saved.
Well, there we are watching you in the courtyard of the Central Bank of Barbados, the Tom Adams Financial Center. No doubt when people see you do what you do, they stop and wonder how crazy could you possibly be. So how do you deal with the response of people who just stand there and watch and mouths drop open wide, but think, this man like he mad? What do you say to that?
I usually laugh it off and say, take out your camera. You're in for a show.
Take out your camera, watch the show. So are you also thrilled about performing in some unusual spaces? How are you recreating yourself so you're not just like everybody else?
I always try to be different. Let's see, fire entertainment has a wide range of props, and they only get bigger from here. You know, so I do a lot of research, and I reach out to other fire artists, not only locally but internationally, and we brush shoulders and pass around ideas. And it's all a matter of just training that set prop. And I'm a quick study, so I could start a new prop today, and within a month I could have it done.
Wonderful. Now, tourism is opening back up somewhat here on the island, and so no doubt they're looking for entertainers. How can people contact you if they need your spectacular show to be a part of what they offer their guests?
You can contact my manager, Mr. Edwards. I can deliver 2000.co.uk, or you can reach out to me via Instagram at Bajanism.
So you're on Instagram at Bajanism. Graham Edwards is your manager, and we really want to thank him for introducing you to us. And we want to encourage you to continue doing well what you do. Stay focused. It can only get better from here. So thank you so much, Raheem Murray, who is known as Bajanism. He is a fire entertainer, and he's a flipper as well. He's just spectacular. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. And before we get ready to go to news, let's take a look at some of what Raheem offers.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Time for us to take a look at the news. Once again, here's Shane Seeley.
Thank you, Pearson. And we're hearing this morning from police that another young life has been lost to gun violence. Dead is Jermaine Alexander Bourne, 31 years of age, of Orange Cottage, St. Joseph, following a shooting incident at Horse Hill in the same parish last night. Police were alerted about the incident at 10 minutes to 10. The young man died at the scene. Investigations are actively ongoing. Meanwhile, local Met officials continue to monitor a strong tropical wave east-northeast of Barbados. The Barbados Meteorological Services say there are no watches or warnings in effect for the island, as the system is not a depression or tropical storm at this time. At 5 this morning, it was located along 47 degrees west, or about 13,080 kilometers east-northeast of Barbados. Overnight, satellite imagery has shown some organization of the system. Met officials say some development is possible as it moves west-northwest at about 20 miles per hour. On the current forecast track, it indicates that the system should pass north of Barbados on Saturday afternoon. Local health officials are being urged to use this new shipment of Pfizer vaccines to vaccinate young people. The advice is coming from emergency room physician Dr. Hilary Moore, as Barbados is set to receive its first shipment of over 70,000 Pfizer doses at 10:05 this morning at the Grantley Adams International Airport. Here's what Dr. Moore had to say.
Pfizer right now is the only vaccine that is recommended in the 12 to 17 age group. That means that if we want to get this herd immunity of 80%, now remember, it's not 80% of the adult population, it's 80% of your population. Some studies are saying it can go down to like 70, 60. I think a safe number would be like around 80. That would be great. But that has to also include some of our young people.
Dr. Moore says a forum needs to be developed to get information on the vaccines to the youth.
If we do not also start targeting, educating our 12 to 17 age group, and remember that is not just their children, we have to inform, give information to the parents, and actually start vaccinating that age group with the set that we actually have coming in now. We can't, I don't know if we can guarantee that we're going to get another set, especially in light of the fact that the prices are going to be going up.
Looking at the COVID-19 numbers now, 5 males and 8 females were diagnosed with COVID-19 after the Best dos Santos Public Health Lab conducted 1,487 tests on Wednesday. There are currently 107 people in isolation. To date, Barbados has recorded 4,509 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Public health officials have administered 100,760 first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, and 82,733 people have received a second doses and are fully vaccinated. Those individuals represent 30.5% of the population. And the cost of living in Barbados continues to rise, and trade barriers are reportedly to blame. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade has been speaking to the Morning Report about some of the challenges which now see people here spending more for less. According to Senator Dr. Jerome Walcott, one of the main contributors is the sharp increase in shipping costs. He's, however, optimistic these issues will be addressed as Barbados sits down at the virtual roundtable with developed nations during the upcoming UNCTAD 15, the United Nations Conference for Trade and Development.
You had a situation with countries in the developed world were being, devastated by COVID. The developing countries are being devastated. And it seems almost like there was a king to home drums beaten first. That they felt that they had to secure PPEs and resources for their populations. And I don't think that the whole concept of the United Nations and the UNCTAD to some extent, it speaks about multilateralism and assisting each other where you can. And I think that really put it under the test. And even now, we've heard of, I think you're well aware, the shipping costs have gone up, the cost of
big
grain.
time.
I mean, it is affecting us in this way. And again, this ties into the whole issue of the COVID pandemic and how it affects global trade and of course global health. So it has affected the whole issues of trade, but in our situation, primarily in having access to certain things, and of course increasing our cost of living.
And that's our 7 a.m. headline news. I'm Shane Seeley. Back to you, Pearson.
Shane, thank you. We're approaching 7 minutes after 7 o'clock here on Morning Barbados. If you're looking for great bargains, then the Kensington Mall is the place to be tomorrow, Saturday. That's because it's Runner's Grand Outdoor Flea Market from 8 in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon. The items on sale will include bags, shoes, clothing, plants, and a whole lot more. If you need to reserve your stall space, please call Owen at 850-8661. 850-8661. Be reminded that all COVID-19 protocols will be enforced. We're going to take a break right here. When we come back, you have a chance to win with our Crumbs question of the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Time for a chance to win now by you calling me on 228-5562 or 228-5563 because it is time for today's Crumbs question of the day. The numbers to call again, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Here comes the Crumbs question of the day. That question is, according to COVID-19 protocols, how long should you wash your hands for and how many feet apart must you be? So, according to those COVID-19 protocols, how long should you wash your hands for and how many feet apart must you be? I think you should know this. So call me now on 228-5562 or 228-5563. So according to COVID-19 protocols, how long should you wash your hands for and how many feet apart should you be? Simple Simon made the pieman. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Get a chance to win this morning with Crumbs Bakery. There is a Crumbs Bakery everywhere. And if it's not where you are, get to the nearest. And certainly when you do, you enjoy some of those great, delicious baked products from Crumbs Bakery. You'll find them to be delicious down to the very last crumb. Good morning to you. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What parish are you watching us from?
St. Michael.
St. Michael. What part of St. Michael are you?
Black Rock.
Black Rock. What's your answer for me?
I think it's 15 seconds, and it should be 6 feet apart.
You're wrong.
3 feet.
You're wrong. Thanks for trying. Okay. Have a good Friday. Have a great weekend indeed. Come on, folks. 228-5562 or 228-5563. The question is, according to those COVID-19 protocols, how long should you wash your hands for and how many feet apart should you be? So come on, 228-5562 or 63. Good morning, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, what parish are you watching us from?
St. Philip.
St. Philip, what part of St. Philip are you?
St. Martin.
St. Martin, St. Philip. Oh, near to the sea. That's all right. What's your answer?
You have to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. And you stay apart between 3 and 6 feet. 3 to 6 feet.
What's your first name?
Melda.
Oh, that's a beautiful name. Melda. Melda, you're absolutely right. 20 seconds is the time for which you need to be able to wash your hands at the minimum, and we should be between 3 to 6 feet. You're absolutely right, Melda. You stay right there on the phone. We'll take some other information from you. Melda calling in from St. Martin in St. Philip, and absolutely right and absolutely correctly answering today's Crumbs question of the day. Congratulations to you. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, there's more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
On Facebook and at the NCF Barbados on Instagram.
Well, that's it in a nutshell. Thank you for joining us. I'm just kidding you. Paula Jacobin is the marketing assistant with the National Cultural Foundation, who's going to share with us now a little bit more about the initiative. Paula, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you today?
I'm doing well today. How are you doing today?
I'm great. It's the weekend, so I'm excited.
Listen, you know, everybody looks forward to Friday, to Saturday and Sunday. Yes. So listen, you guys at the NCF are doing this pop-in. Why are you doing this?
We recognize that we have so many art and craft entrepreneurs, so many creative entrepreneurs across the island who have been hard hit by the pandemic. We don't need to call all the words that we've been hearing for the last year and a half about unprecedented times, etc. It's time to get real about it and throw some financial support behind these people. So we want to encourage Barbadians to pop in with us for the month of August and not stop there, but we want to start in August, starting tomorrow, Saturday, August 14th.
So pop in at any time or only during those business times?
Well, we want you to pop in at the same time as us. We'll be going live with Bazodi magazine, and there's a chance at the end of the series to win some great prizes. But of course, these places are open 6:30 a.m., for example, for Brighton Farmers Market. If you're a morning person, I'm not. You can get there for 6:30. We'll be there at 7 a.m. And then we're going to head to Hastings Farmers Market for 9 a.m. And the Art Splash Gallery, curated by Lois Crawford, is there as well. And you can check that out. And then at 11 a.m., we're going to the Millhouse Complex in St. Thomas to Frame and Art Co.
So pop in with you, pop along with you.
Yes.
And that's the whole point
Yes.
on the weekends as we explore the variety, the vast
Yes.
variety of Bajan offerings in Bajan enterprises and Bajan businesses as the NCF works to encourage more support of our Bajan endeavors. So tomorrow, Saturday, you said to me, you're going to the farmers market at Hastings first?
We're going to Brighton Farmers Market
Brighton's
first.
first.
They're open at 6:30 a.m. So
and you're
we're
there from
going
7.
for 7 o'clock.
Right.
Yes.
And
then at
then-
night,
Go
we
ahead.
are going to the Farmers Market in Hastings, and they've also got the Art Splash Gallery that's curated by Lois Crawford, and that's really exciting. It's so beautiful. I had to do all the pop-ins before I could tell persons about them, so I can tell you it's awesome. If you have a gift to get for someone, birthday, anniversary, an apology maybe, there's a Barbadian gift that you can get for someone. So let's buy Bajan, and we'll wrap it up tomorrow at 11 a.m. when we go to Frame and Art Co. at Millhouse in St. Thomas.
There's some steals and deals available on each of these pop-ins tomorrow, and certainly we want to encourage all Barbadians to travel with you. You say you're going live as well on social media.
Yes.
And certainly as we go with you, when we pop in with you, we get a chance to win by the end of the season.
Absolutely. And we talk about a season, so I have to tell you a little bit about next Saturday. We're going west. We're going to Old Town, to the Gansey and Best of Barbados shops. We're going all the way to Spitestown. The bus can take you straight there if you don't have Transfee. And we're going to the Gallery of Caribbean Art. And then we're going to Lime Grove. And we'll update our social media with those times. You can always check us out at the NCF Barbados on Instagram and at Barbados NCF on Facebook to get that full schedule, and we'll be updating the times as we go along as well. So we really want you to come with us. And then on the 28th, we're going to Pelican Craft Center for the entire weekend.
Right. You know, I haven't heard the word transp in so long. It's so good to hear it drop from a young woman like you. I love it. I love it. So whatever the transp, you follow, you pop in with Paula Jackman and the NCF, of course. Yeah, and the pop-ins begin tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
We're popping to those farmers markets, the Art Splash. I mean, we're just going everywhere where Bajan enterprises are, and we're wanting everybody to support Bajan endeavor because there's so much that we offer. I'm sure in your popping in about the place as well, you've been able to find places that you perhaps didn't even know about and realizing the value that one can benefit from at those places, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is nothing that isn't made here, and there's so much. I probably ate too much original Bajan food. That old-time fish cake, not fish essence. You're getting good old fish inside your fish cake. The Brighton Farmers Market absolutely delivers. They've got products like Handmade by Kay, original bee products there. There's plants for the plant lovers. There's fashion, all kinds of wraps for those who are into that kind of thing. I have been finding so many hidden gems, and what we'd like to do at the NCF is uncover them. We don't want them to be hidden anymore. We want everyone to be shopping, buying Bajan, supporting local, and not just in August either. And of course, at the Art Gallery in Frame and Art Co., where we're going at 11 o'clock, we've got Innerscapes, and that is curated by Craig Yearwood, and that features some incredible local Barbadian visual artists, and you can shop for some art for your new home or for a friend. The options are endless, truly.
So how do you know, at the end of the series, you say you're going to be offering me an opportunity to win. How do you know I've been popping in with you?
Oh, well, you're going to go live, or you're going to tag us in your photos, in your videos, in your stories at the NCF Barbados on Instagram, at Barbados NCF on Facebook, and let us know you've been there, and I'll be watching. I'll make sure that you get your prizes.
So as we pop in, and we can pop in with you, or we can pop in, not necessarily with you, but pop into the places that you're highlighting.
Just pop in, pop up, pop along, grab your tacklings and come.
Correct. And as we're there, take our video, go live. We can take up pictures as well, but tag NCF.
Yes.
And, you know,
Of
that's how
course.
you're tracking that I've been popping in and popping
Yes.
along with you as well, using whatever
And
transfer
all
you
those
choose to take.
prices will be 100% Bajan as well. We've got everything from jams to candles, fashion, you name it. You won't believe the prices we have. We can adorn
Nice.
you fully in Barbadian stuff.
I love it. Paula Jackman, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're going to pop in and pop along with you, taking whatever transfer we can to be wherever you are as well, keeping track of what's going on as well. Thank you so much for whetting our appetite to pop into those places tomorrow. We're starting first at the Brighton Farmers Market, heading then to the Hastings Farmers Market, and then we're going to end in St. Thomas. All the best indeed. Look at that. And you can go onto the social media of the National Cultural Foundation, keep track of where we will be every weekend, and also keep track of how you can win with the NCF and their art and craft pop-ins with Paula Jackman. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados will continue right after this.
The NCF is popping in. Follow us as we pop into some amazing spots to shop Bajan Creative for our pop-in series. Locally grown produce, beautiful Bajan art and craft, jewelry, and more await. We start Saturday, August 14th, when we visit the farmers markets in Hastings and Brighton, and the Frame and Art at Art Splash Galleries. On Saturday, August 21st, we head west to Grove Gallery, Gansey, and Best of Barbados Shops, and Spitestown to the Gallery of Caribbean Art. Friday, August 27th, Saturday, August 28th, and Sunday, August 29th, we pop into Pelican Craft Center, an entire weekend of buying Bajan. For more information, stay tuned to the NCF across socials at Barbados NCF on Facebook and at the NCF Barbados on Instagram.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 24 minutes after 7 o'clock. Now, our next guest, one can say, is posh. That doesn't mean she's snooty, arrogant, or any of those stuck-up kinds of acronyms that we could find, but she's actually just simply a positive overcomer, strong-willed and happy. That's what her posh represents. Her name is Melissa McPherson, and she's the owner of Posh Lifestyle. Good morning to you, Melissa.
Good morning, Pearson.
Did I aptly describe you?
Yes, definitely. I'm a positive, overcomer, strong-willed, and happy person.
All right. I'm so happy to hear that. Welcome to Morning Barbados. We found you and we wanted to know more about you. Why did you start this business, Posh Lifestyle?
Well, I started my business, honestly, because I was looking for an extra income for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked within myself and said, you know, what talents do I have? And then I said, you know what? I'm really good at graphic designing. So let me work on that and provide that service on the side. And that's how I started my business, the Posh Lifestyle. It came out of a need and also my passion for design.
You know, there's such a story in that for everyone, because oftentimes we sit and we scratch our heads, I can't find a job with someone. And here it is, you're saying, you know what, I recognize I have a strong talent, I have an ability which is mine, and I can now actually do my own business. I don't have to rely on someone else to provide me with the impetus to do so. Well done, I like that. So you've now formalized yourself and you're providing skills sets for female entrepreneurs in particular, right?
Definitely.
So how wide
Yes.
is the offering that you make available to female entrepreneurs?
Well, I help female entrepreneurs start and elevate their brands. When you come to the Posh Lifestyle, you work on your mindset. You work on your vision for your business, and you work on the identity. I call it, I help you to create this brand with a bit of sass. Now that sass is what will enable you to be more visible and memorable. So those are the services that I provide for my clients.
To be more visible and memorable. And that's so critical to the success of at least to the start of the business and its longevity as well. So branding is what you do.
Definitely. Because, we all, when we start a business, sometimes we just think about the business aspect, but we don't think about building a brand, becoming a household name. And that is what I help my clients with.
So what do we
get
need
out
to
there
do?
to be.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, yes. I was saying to get out there and to be more visible and memorable.
So help me understand, what's the first thing we need to do? Because we need to be branded, we need to be more visible and so on. But I'm shy, I'm an introvert. So how do I get my brand recognized and to be out there as you want me to be and sassy?
Well, you first start with your vision. So where do you see yourself? And once you've established what your vision is for your business, then we work on your mindset, because the mindset is what will help you to show up for your business. It affects the way you see yourself, the way you see your business, and how you put forward yourself for your business. So mindset is where we start working with you.
All right. So once I enrolled with Posh Lifestyle, your business, how long is that session going to be before I'm confident enough to maintain my own brand and business?
Well, it really depends on the individual, because remember, everyone is at different stages. But you can, from the time you come and you start working with me, let's say from the first month, you are able to present yourself in a more positive way. And you're able to go out there, go on social media, show up for your business. So from within a month.
Wow. Within a month or so, we can see the dramatic change from novice to professional, as you are, Melissa. And so how can people watching today who want to avail themselves of your services at Posh Lifestyle, how can they do so?
Well, I'm very active on social media, on Instagram especially, and also on Facebook. And you can find me Posh Lifestyle BB. And if you're looking for more information on my services, you can visit my website at www.theposhlifestyle.
And talk to me a little bit about some of the successes that you would have encountered as you continue on this journey of empowering female entrepreneurs. What kinds of successes can you share with us?
Well, I can tell you that working with my clients and just seeing their transformation. Like I had one client that she came to me and, she said, I want to change the look of my brand. I want to change the feel and look of my brand. And when we worked together and we were able to create a whole new identity, and she was really happy. And that transformation, when I saw that is definitely success for me. So once my clients are successful, that is success for me.
There's a quote that we just placed on the screen. If we could just bring it back up quickly, because I kind of like what it says. It says a little bit about what her success is and how you look at her success and not think of it as your failure, but that it is possible. Her success is not proof that you are failing. Her success is proof that it is possible. So you too can realize that possibility. So that's where it plays into mindset, and not begin to compare oneself with another and think they're doing so well, then I'm doing so badly. They're doing so well, I can also do as well. And that's the whole thinking that you're putting into place, right?
Yes, because, you know, we can easily get sidetracked or, you know, figure that we're failing when we see others are succeeding.
Mhm.
But I want to get others to understand that use it as a motivation. See it that, yes, this means that it's possible for me. So don't see it as a competition or, you know, in a negative light. See the possibilities. So that is what I aim to impart on other female entrepreneurs.
It's so interesting because it starts with the mind. It truly starts with what's in your mind, what's in your heart, what's in your passion. And so the posh lifestyle that you're offering is for people to be able to reset that mindset, to become more positive as an overcomer, be strong-willed, but most of all, you reach that state of happiness in what you're seeking to endeavor as well. And so we want to find you on social media, and we're going to find you on your website as well, because I think there are lots of people out there who can do so well with what you're offering as well this morning. So we want to encourage people to give you a call and give you a check out, and then they can realize all of those benefits. What's next on the train of successes for you?
Well, the next thing, I'm looking to launch a full group coaching program where I can work with more female entrepreneurs, not only here in Barbados, but throughout the Caribbean, because I think this is something that will be very beneficial to us here in the Caribbean, because sometimes we really don't focus on the mindset aspect. So I really want to embark on that journey.
I am so excited about your journey, Alice. Your journey, and I'm so happy for you. I want to encourage you to continue doing so well. Melissa McPherson, the owner of Posh Lifestyle, thank you. And I hope that more women today sign up to be a part of your journey and realize that happiness that is all part of the posh meaning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, too.
You're very welcome. Melissa McPherson, the owner of Posh Lifestyle. 27 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. We're back after this with that young Bajan chef who was featured on Fox and Friends recently.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Remember, folks, if you're looking for great bargains, then Kensington Mall is the place to be this weekend. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, it's Runner's Grand Outdoor Flea Market from 8 in the morning till 5:30 in the afternoon with lots of things on sale, including bags, shoes, clothing, plants, and a whole lot more. Reserve that stall space now by calling Owen on 850-8661. Be reminded that safety protocols will be enforced tomorrow, Saturday, and enjoy. Good luck with your benefits. Let's meet this young man who was recently featured as part of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Initiative's effort on Fox and Friends. He's a chef. His name is Javon Cummins. Good morning to you, Javon.
Hey, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Javon, are you in Barbados or are you still in New York?
So I'm in Barbados.
Oh, you're in Barbados. What was it like to be on Fox and Friends, my boy?
It was a great experience. Obviously, on Barbados Tourism Marketing, it makes the opportunities for chefs to showcase the audience, and I really appreciate that effort. And it was a really great experience.
You realize, no doubt, that you are on the global stage, so everybody everywhere across the world could watch you and see you do what you do on behalf of Barbados. And so you were sharing with the friends and families there and the folks a little bit about the wedding taste test. It was a test segment. And what was the reaction, first of all, to the dishes that you prepared?
The reaction was great. They obviously wanted to do like a wedding tasting, but with a Caribbean flair, but having traditional dishes. And after, well, all the hosts were tasting the food, well, after the segment, and they couldn't get onto the other segment because the food was so good. But it was well received from everyone.
How were you chosen to be the one who prepared those dishes?
Well, I was in New York for the activation. I was pitched as the LB chef for the wedding segment because they just wanted to do like traditional wedding stuff but with a Caribbean flair. So while I was over there, the email came over and then we just made everything happen.
So here we are, we are seeing the hosts of Fox and Friends enjoying and sampling, and there you are between them, no doubt feeling really proud. I know everybody knows your face, everybody knows what you do. What did you prepare that they got a chance to taste?
Well, I did a curry split pea and sweet potato ball, and then I did a spice rub steak with a merlot and scotch bonnet, a guava brulee chicken with a roasted squash and corn risotto, and then I did a cake, a roasted coconut and chocolate cake, and a passion fruit mousse with chocolate pearls and smoked pineapples.
Gee.
It was
I could taste the flavors already. I could really feel them. So is this something you would have traditionally done here, or this was specifically crafted by you for that experience?
This was definitely crafted for the experience because they gave me a list of stuff that they wanted to use, and obviously I tried to make it as Caribbean as Bajan as possible, and it worked out pretty good.
Would this be one of those crowning moments of your experience as a chef thus far?
It was a great experience. I would say that it could be listed as one of them, yeah, because I have had a couple in the past, which is really great. James Bird House in New York. I've done a pretty good, had a great time, there. But I would say that this is definitely one that I can add to the works.
When you look back at your career and the opportunities that have come your way from just taking up culinary arts, when you think and you put all of it into context, how do you feel and what crosses your mind?
Sometimes it's kind of surreal. I always try to remain as humble as possible, but I am very happy for how it's going, and I always keep pushing myself further and setting goals. So that is the LVO thing, to go further and further, and always try to top what I did last. And I'm very happy for everything, and we how everything just aligns together.
You're still a young man, and from age 7, I'm told, you got an interest in cooking, and you entered your first cooking competition at age 7, and you did quite well. And ever since then, it has been what you've been doing. What school did you go to while on Barbados?
Pardon? I didn't hear you.
What school did you go to?
The Dyson Secondary.
Mm-hmm. And so that's where your thirst for really pursuing culinary arts was spurned?
Yeah, exactly. When I was in for my food and nutrition teacher, Miss Lowe, she saw that I had a big interest in culinary. And then I went on to do junior challenge when I was in fifth or fourth form, I can't remember right now. And from there, I just went on to college and study. And then I have been able to work with international chefs overseas, did international competitions overseas, and it has been a whirlwind, and it's been a great experience.
It has truly been a truly great experience. You're receiving many awards, all part of the Caribbean team, Junior and Junior Chef of the Year Gold, you won. You would have been a part of our many culinary events, including the local Rum Food and Rum Festival. Many things you've been a part of, Chef of the Year. Boy, what an achievement thus far. You're still quite young. There's a lot more for you to do and to cook up delightfully for all of us. What's the next big thing that you think you've set yourself to attain?
Next big thing would probably try to work out how I want to push out my brand in terms of being a restaurateur, and I just want to take culinary in general in a totally different direction from what it's going in right now, and just break certain barriers when it comes to Caribbean and Asian food on a global landscape.
Wow. Was a big plan as a restaurateur. Javon Cummins, well done. We were so proud when we saw your pictures splashed across the social media of Javon representing Barbados and doing it so well, and the hosts being so pleased with what you've created and crafted for them as well. We can only wish you the very best. We had to meet you. Thank you for agreeing to coming with us this morning. All the best going forward, Javon. And we can't wait to be sitting in your restaurant when it opens eventually. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. Javon Cummins, an award-winning Barbadian chef. We're coming back with more right here on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
60 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. History was made on July the 30th in the signing of a memorandum of understanding between Barbados, Suriname and Guyana. And immediately that piqued our interest. We had to talk more about it. And so we're happy to be joined this morning by the president of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Anthony Branker, Multi Dwark Singh, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Suriname Trade and Industry Association, and Richard Rambaran, the Executive Director of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, and lady, I'm sorry, I didn't see you right there in the middle, ma'am. Good to have you as well. Now, Anthony, let's start with you, since you're with us. This is considered to be historic. Why would we use the word historic in the signing of this memorandum of understanding?
Well, I think to begin with, we speak a lot about CARICOM and we talk about their trade arrangements and so forth that we do have in place. And yes, we come together at the heads of government level, at the ministerial level. But here now we've made a decision that we want to come together at the business level. And so it is historic because the Chamber of Commerce between Barbados, the Suriname Trade and Industry Association, and the Barbados Chamber of Commerce, we have decided that we want to expand this collaboration beyond just mere talk and try to, to see how we can expand beyond just an agreement at the CARICOM level.
Multi, what do you see to be the opportunities for Suriname from this agreement?
Well, Suriname is going through a big crisis at this moment. Besides the pandemic, we have a lot of issues and problems, but the business community have a lot of opportunities. I mean, a lot of businesses are investing in Guyana, and there are a lot of opportunities also to invest in Barbados. There has been opportunities to export a lot of agriculture products, but also when it comes to crushed stone. So there are a lot of opportunities for the business community in Suriname to collaborate and cooperate with the business community in Guyana and in Barbados. We also think about the oil and the gas industry that is booming in Guyana. Suriname has a lot of potential also in that area. So we can learn from each other and we can help each other in that way.
And Richard, already Barbados and Ghana, we do a lot of trade and lots of exchanges. You have businesses here, we have businesses there. What else can one get from this memorandum of understanding between you three?
Yeah, so thank you for that question. I think when you look at the relationship historically and you look at what has been happening in and around CARICOM, there is always scope for increasing intra-regional trade. It's no secret what's happening in Guyana, and obviously it provides a tremendous amount of opportunity, not just for Guyanese and Guyanese companies and citizens, but also for the Caribbean and our Caribbean brothers and sisters. I must say that Prime Minister Motley and Ms. Sandra Husbands, in reaching out to Guyana and driving the initiative forward, really jump-started this initiative and gave us quite a bit of direction and mandate in how we must or in how they believe we can foster this relationship amongst the three countries.
Anthony, cost of shipping is always going to be a huge concern. Though we're collaborating, though we're trading between ourselves, it affects price and one's ability to actually have that product in our consumption. What is the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, what benefits because of this MOU can we see as it relates to the price at the end of the day for the consumer?
Well, Pearson, yes, we would have already had a seminar between the three organizations already where we included the local shipping to see the feasibility of having movement of cargo between ourselves, Guyana, Suriname, Barbados, to see what obviously we can do in terms of freeing up and increasing trade between the three of us. Certainly, if we can see opportunities to bring product from Guyana and Suriname, it obviously will be far cheaper than bringing product from Asia or Europe. And therefore, this is why we want to start the exploration to see what are the options, what is possible. Because certainly we're talking about next door versus looking to Europe or Asia or even the USA. So definitely this is what we are looking at, and we have already started looking at having discussions with the shipping lanes to see what trade lanes can be opened up so that we can make that a real possibility.
Another one of the challenges, Malta, as we see it too, is ignorance of what exists or what does not exist, and fear, this insularity that we all have as Caribbean people. How does Suriname intend to tackle that so that there's a greater awareness of the range of services and products that Suriname could offer Barbados that we could benefit from?
So we already started in Suriname within our association to inform our members, and we had also a survey in what members think they can do, what opportunities they have in Guyana and Barbados. So definitely, there is already a sense of awareness within among our members. I have to say, next week there will be a mission to Guyana, a joint mission, the private sector and the public sector to Guyana, and there will be talks about matchmaking regarding businesses So there is an awareness. And I think a lot of businesses who have the strength to look beyond the national borders and to see what they can offer within the CARICOM borders, they're also prepared for that. So there definitely is an awareness, and the businesses are looking for opportunities. The problem is with the smaller companies that need to be strengthened now in this type of crisis. But the bigger businesses, they are really looking at opportunities.
And Richard, you know, Ghana has been designated as the food security area for the Caribbean. You just went dark. Did he disappear, team? So we want, thank you, Richard, for coming back there. That's all right. You know, Ghana has been designated by CARICOM to be one area where we want to ensure food security. Is that one of the areas in which we can see this MOU benefiting the whole Caribbean region and the three of us in this agreement?
Yes, absolutely. I think when you look at when you speak about natural resources curse for an oil and gas developing economy, you speak about Dutch disease, etc. A large part of that also is inculcated in how you treat within non-oil sector. So therefore, my logical extension, when we speak about food security in the Caribbean, it provides a very opportune time for the Guyanese private sector, as well as for the state-owned enterprises who are involved in production and agricultural production, to be able to up their number and utilize the Caribbean market. When you look at what happens in the Caribbean with very small nation states, we cannot benefit from the types of economies of scale to compete with enterprises that are perhaps in larger markets with great internal demand. So the idea between cooperating amongst countries is fundamentally this, to be able to provide more opportunities for the local private sector and for the producers in our various economies to be able to utilize the increased market share that one would spending outside of the borders.
So Anthony, what for the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, what are the next steps? The Memorandum of Understanding has been agreed and signed. What are the next steps so that we can benefit from this understanding?
Well, we would have already taken steps since the signing of the memorandum. I met with the special envoy to Suriname, Senator Althea Wiggins, the executive director, myself. We met with her recently, and we would have just started to hear from her what exactly are the opportunities she sees on the Suriname end. So I think the next step for us is obviously to have a courtesy call with our Guyana team to do the same thing, to find out what are the low-hanging fruit that we can immediately go after. But Pearson, outside of the food security, obviously, we also see the clear potential for us to collaborate as Chamber of Commerce, because the one thing that COVID has brought out to us is that now technology allows us to share in the same space, so that if we are exploring a certain topic that is beneficial to the Barbadian business person here on island, there's no reason why we can't expand that now to embrace both our Guyanese and Surinamese business persons. So that type of collaboration will see us benefiting from training, from just information sharing, and just common exposure to what are some of the cutting edge technologies and so forth.
I'm so excited by this, and I'm not even in business, but this excites me tremendously. I love the way we collaborate as a region and to have our partners come together through business to be able to bring benefit to the people of the region as well. And I really hope this Memorandum of Understanding is not just paper and words. It actually is a lived experience for all of us, so we can see through what we collaborate on, the exchanges we have, real tangible differences in the lives of the peoples in each of our areas as well. I want to thank you folks for joining me this morning. Anthony Branker, who is the president of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Malti Dwarka Singh, who is the chief executive officer of Suriname Trade and Industry Association, a lady, and Richard Rambaran, who is the executive director of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you for signing that Memorandum of Understanding, and thank you for working on behalf of the peoples of each of our respective territories as well. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you for having us, Pearson.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, we have just about 4.5 minutes to go before the end. I promised you we're going to give you something to smile about this weekend. Don't forget, we have a number of things happening here tonight at 9. Will be festival stage. You'll get a chance to hear who are the winners of the Soca Showdown and the Soca Star and Kaiso Champion. Who are those champions? Your votes have been counted. They are in, and we are ready to make that announcement tonight. So do not miss it. It starts at 9:03 on festival stage. And then tomorrow evening is going to be the big island-wide excursion on the Stand Home Party beginning at 10. At 10 in the evening, and we encourage you to be a part of that big summer excursion, that Island Drive, and that's tomorrow. The Zoom will be open. It's an opportunity for you to be a part of the excitement here at the CBC. And to jumpstart your weekend, as I say goodbye to you, take a look at this video. We think it is funny, we think it is cool, but it's the way that what in the mind of this man who created it, some of those big stars in the US would have danced to our soca songs. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a good smile. Take care.
Sharp vibes, yeah. Red boys, yeah. Can I really talk just a little bit? Can I really talk just a little bit? Can I really talk just a little bit? Hold on. You're coming at the dance, and you woke up ready. But you ain't bring no friends, nor no family. You see the stranger on your left, you see the stranger on your right. Better start to jam up again, cause we fitting in here tonight, I'll be chanting. Together we drinking. In your zone, nobody here should whine alone. All of we end up in one place, taking up space. This fetish we home. We don't want a drama, come to upset me karma. So while you're jamming, I want to hear you chanting.